gluten-free. So here's the deal. I talk to entrepreneurs for a living, and I've been having a lot of conversations lately with people in the online entrepreneurship space who are having a rough go. And I get it. I mean, 2025 took us all by surprise. This year has been harder for a lot of people than any of us saw coming, right? And when we go through moments of disruption like this, which I believe is what's happening, things that used to work no longer work. People who used to be the power players are no longer have the power or the influence over the space that they used to. Offers that used to work no longer work. Marketing plays that used to work no longer work, or at least no longer work to the level of effectiveness they used to. And it's causing mass confusion for people. A whole lot of disruption, and it's causing people to get in their head and either double down on their strengths and really fucking go for it, or phase out of the online business space entirely, phase out of entrepreneurship entirely. And I think a lot of that has to do with, a lot of people came into the online expert space or the online business space during the early 20s when everyone was stuck at home, everyone was cashed up with stimmy checks, and everyone was online. Like, we went through a massive quantum leap in the online business space during 2020 and 2021. And it felt like, a domino had been knocked over, and basically the whole freaking world came online and was like, so what's everyone doing? What are we doing? What are we watching? What are we buying? What are we learning? What are we doing? And so in those moments, a lot of people came into quick success. And so they developed a mentality that business is easy. Oh my God, this is so easy. Why do people say entrepreneurship is so hard? This is so easy. Look at how much money I'm making. Look at how easy it is to get people into my offers. Look at how easy it is to market on social media. Look at how easy it is to set up a funnel and get people flowing through it. And then you put those people into a time like 2025 and things get really shaky for them. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of disruption in this space right now, and things that used to work are no longer working, or no longer working to the level that they used to, or the people that used to have all the influence no longer have the influence. There's more people who are on the come up that seem to be carrying a lot of weight and influence and power in this space. And because of that, it's shifting dynamics in the online entrepreneurship space. And when that happens, I concretely believe that that is the time that you have to double down on your mindset, because it's in those moments where it's real easy to succumb to a thought spiral where you just start picking up steam around things like, this isn't working anymore. Why is this not working? Oh my God, I'm not making the kind of money I used to be making. Things used to be easier. Am I not relevant anymore? Do people not want this anymore? What's working? Nothing's working. Oh my God, I'm screwed. I'm out. You know what I mean? It's real easy to get caught up in those swirls where you just start to lose your power and you get caught in a negative thought spiral, and it slowly but surely takes you down. That's why I think that these times, it is so important to manage your mind during these times. It's so important to manage your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions during these times, because it's real easy during moments of disruption to slip into a broke ass mindset. So what do I mean by a broke ass mindset or a broke woman mindset? Well, one of the absolute hallmarks of this, also, I just caught myself in the video. If you're watching this video, this is physiotherapy tape. It is not some ghetto ass bracelet I'm wearing that is broken. It is physiotherapy tape on my wrist. Okay, sidetracked. Okay, hallmark of a broke woman mindset. Number one, victim mentality. So what I mean by this is when someone's operating in victim mentality, they have the mindset that everything is happening to them and not for them, right? So that's the person who blames things like the algorithm or the market or the economy or tariffs or Trump or their partner or their clients or their audience or her life circumstances and how she was brought up or all the ways that she is at a disadvantage, okay? And I'm telling you right now, one, I'm sure if you are in this phase, you can recognize it as soon as I start talking this out. But second, if you have clients who are also operating in this kind of mentality, here are things that I think that are important for you to know or to help them with. Is one, that is the fastest path to powerlessness. That mentality is the quickest way to become broke. That is the quickest way to stay stuck. And when people operate in victim mentality, what I think is really at play for them is that, a few things. But first is that control actually feels terrifying to them. So here's what I mean by that. when you have to claim control, when you admit that you are in control of how life goes for you, well, that means that you have to claim responsibility over the things that are happening or are not happening for you. Okay. So when you admit, or when someone admits that they're in control, then that means they also have to take ownership over their decisions, the conversations they have, their patterns, their dynamics, their habits, their edges. Like, they have to take control of that. And that can feel terrifying for people. Whereas victim mentality allows people to outsource that control. So it allows them to put that on something else outside of them. So they never have to feel the weight or feel the level of their own power. Instead, it's more tempting or more seductive to them to think that it's happening to them than it is to admit that they're the ones creating it. Because the second they admit that they're the ones creating it, or at least they're the ones maintaining it, or they're the ones allowing it, well, then the responsibility is on them, the ownership is on them, and they have to take control of that. And that's alarming to them, or it feels very scary to them, because for probably one of the first times in their lives, they actually have to be in the driver's seat of their life, and they don't know how to be in that. Another thing that I think is at play is the attention that comes with victim mentality is so enticing to people. Right? And what I mean by that is our society, our world, the online space, oh my God, especially the online space, rewards victim mentality. It is the loudest victims that get the most eyeballs. It is the loudest people who get the most attention. And when they're complaining, or when they're talking about how they are at the mercy of someone else's strategy, or joining this program, or trying this thing and it not going their way, or having this happen in the world and them not liking it, or having their feelings hurt by, a piece of fucking content or something someone said. When they abdicate that level of power for them and they operate in victim mentality, they get rewarded for it because people pay attention to it. You'll start to see in the comment threads, like, people pile on, I felt that way too. Oh my God, I had that happen too. Oh, I bought that program too. Oh yeah, she was a bitch, or she was inappropriate, or she shouldn't have said that. It starts to spiral, and that victim mentality gets rewarded. They are getting more attention. They are getting more support when they abdicate their power and they put it on something outside of them. So I think on one hand, control feels terrifying. And then on the second part of it is that victim mentality, that victimhood gets attention, and it almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? It reinforces that, yes, I should feel this way because of insert thing here. Or yes, I'm right to bitch and complain about this and give my power over to something I can't control, rather than take it back and fucking change the situation. So being the one who has who's come from a hard background or hard times, or has a sad story, or, has a dramatic story, or whatever it is, or has the most stacked odds against them, that allows them to abdicate their own power and instead operate in this like frequency of sympathy and victim mentality, which on the surface feels rewarding, but on a deeper level actually keeps them way more stuck than if they were to just come back into a place of equilibrium, manage their mind, manage their emotions, and take actual responsibility for what they say they want and who they want to be. Another thing I think is at play when someone operates in victim mentality is their excuses protect them from risk. Okay, so it's very easy to see this. Oh, I tried this and it didn't work. Oh, well, this launch didn't happen, or this launch didn't, or I didn't move forward with this because it felt this way, or this was happening in the world, or it's insensitive to sell right now, or whatever it might be. Here's the thing. If she stays a victim, if she keeps swimming in her excuses, then she never actually has to show herself what she's made of. She never actually has to step up to the plate and take a proper fucking swing, because she's buried under the excuses. And while that might feel supportive to her, it might feel safer to her, what it's really doing when you operate in a victim mentality is it zapping your power. It is repelling the shit out of everything you say you want, and it is bringing like-minded people, aka other victims, into your world who just, I mean, this is going to sound like such a dickhead thing to say, but if you are attracting victims into your world, I guarantee you your business will fail because victims do not take responsibility. Victim mentality, I should say, not victims. There are obviously like real victims. I don't even think I need to caveat this. But what I mean is people who operate in victim mentality. Like if they allow themselves to swim in their excuses, if they allow themselves to stay safe that way, well, then they never actually have to show themselves what they're truly made of, right? And so it becomes their scapegoat because what if she did try and it didn't work? Then what? And so those excuses of I tried it before, or I don't like running ads, or this didn't work for me, or I only like it like this, or I tried that and it didn't work, or I couldn't launch right now because of this reason, or whatever it is. I can't do that because someone else did it. I have this and blah, blah, blah. Like any of the fucking excuses that people make online, it keeps them safe and they do it so that they never truly have to show themselves what they're made of. They never truly have to take a proper fucking swing because that would feel more disheartening to them than allowing themselves to succumb to the excuses and never truly go for it. So I think that's also at play. And then the final thing I think is at play when someone is operating in victim mentality, which ultimately bleeds into their mindset and creates a broke woman mindset, creates a broke ass mindset, is that they have a lot of unprocessed shame that is just running the show for them, right? So a lot of victim mentality or a lot of victim patterns trace back to deep internalized shame. Things like, I'm not good at this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good at sales. I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I'm not good on video. I don't know how to speak off the cuff. I don't know how to do insert thing here. I'm not smart. I'm not good. I'm not rich. I'm not capable. I'm not magnetic. I'm not whatever it is, right? And here's the kicker with this is when they get into those modes, when they let the unprocessed shame take over for them, every slow sale, every slow launch, every ghosted client, every ghosted DM, every no they get, every rejection they get serves as proof as to why this is true for them. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, so she believes she's not enough, and so she plays small. And then that small action creates small results, which then creates an experience of like, see, I knew it. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you don't process the unprocessed shame that is creeping up in your business, you will take actions in alignment with what you believe to be true about yourself. I mean, I can only speak from experience. I did this when I believed I wasn't smart. I turned down a TV show. I don't even need to recap it because I'm over it now, but like it's really fucking annoying that I did all of this to myself. But I had unprocessed pain and trauma that I just let bleed into my business. So I believed I wasn't smart. So what did I do? I turned down speaking gigs. I turned down a book deal. I turned down a TV show. I would say no to basically all the things that felt like, I don't know, like it was shaking the core of me. It was like I didn't want the big spotlight on me because I believed I wasn't smart. Because if you're not smart, you can't be big. And so because I believed I wasn't smart, I played small. And I operated in performative energy. Instead of processing that for myself, feeling those feelings, releasing that for myself, and going to my next level in a way that feels grounded and powerful and exciting and real for me. Now, eventually I got there, but it took me years of inner work to really release that for myself. And I think so often when we see people playing the victim game or operating in victim mentality online, it's because they have a lot of unprocessed beliefs about themselves that aren't supportive to their growth. And again, that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You take smaller action. You take less risks. You aren't as audacious. You aren't as visible. You aren't as magnetic in your messaging. You aren't as polarizing as you could be. And so then you call in people who also operate in unprocessed shame or in victim mentality or make excuses and then abdicate all the responsibility and put it on you. Right? How many times have you had a client come into your world and you do all that you can to help them, but then they still don't take responsibility for their own shit. They don't do the fucking work. And then they put that on you and saying, well, I didn't get fucking results in her program. Yeah, bitch, it's because you didn't do anything. It's because you let your unprocessed trauma keep you in a freeze state and you didn't do anything. And then it feels easier for you to abdicate your own responsibility for that and put it onto someone so you don't have to feel that. You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel more shame. But deep down, that is chipping away at their self-belief and their self-esteem, which is what keeps them in these triggers of victim mentality and operating with a broke woman mindset. The second thing I think contributes to a broke woman mindset is that she settles for less than what she wants. She convinces herself, oh, this is good enough. No, I'm happy. I like this. It's fine. I'm good. It's fine. It's fine. I'm happy. No, it didn't hit my goal, but it's fine. It's okay. I'm happy. I can do it. It's fine. It's like those two words, it's fine, is the hallmark of a woman who has settled for less than what she wants. And that energy of like good enough is the enemy of exceptional. It's like the beige vanilla version of one of a kind. And this kind of mentality, settling for less than what she wants, bleeds into her business. It has her tolerating clients who drain her energy, or she tolerates prices that don't match the value she brings, or the experience or the wisdom that she brings to the container. It has her settling for standards that scream mediocrity. And she does it because settling feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels like she knows what to expect, even if she doesn't like it. Okay? I'm not saying you have to like settling for less than what you want. You probably don't. And also, it probably feels familiar to you, which is why you do it. It feels more safe to you than changing it up or trying new things or setting boundaries or raising your standards or having a hard conversation. And if you find yourself in a loop of settling for less than what you want, then I imagine you do it because it's familiar. Now, I'm not saying you have to like it. I imagine you don't. I imagine you don't want to keep doing it. And also, the temptation to do it comes from the fact that it's familiar for you. Even if you don't like it, you still know how to operate in that. Even if you don't like it, you still know how to handle that level of stress or that level of uncertainty or that level of discomfort. You know how to handle that level of anxiety. You know how to be that version of you. Even if you don't like it right now, you still know how to be it. There's a level of familiarity to it, and breaking out of that feels the most challenging. But here's what I want you to hear if you struggle with this. While settling might feel safe, it might feel like the safer option or the less riskier option, what it actually is a stifling of your expansion. It's self-betrayal. It's self-abandonment. It's like you do it, or she does it because she doesn't think she's worth going for more or being more or giving more or doing more or having more. And because that feels big or scary or unfamiliar or uncomfortable, she dials it down and she settles for, it's okay, it's fine. But every time you settle for less, every time she settles for less, she reinforces the belief that this is as good as it gets for her, which further chips away at her self-esteem and her self-image and her self-confidence, which then just becomes this repetitive cycle of settling for less than what she wants, therefore getting less than what she wants, therefore feeling less than how she wants to feel, and therefore taking less action, showing up in less powerful energy, less potent energy, taking less audacious action, and really selling herself short. And every time you settle for less, or every time she settles for less, she reinforces the belief that this is as good as it gets, which then chips away at her self-esteem and her self-image and her self-concept and her self-confidence. And it reinforces that this is what's meant for her. Instead of doing the work to rise out of that mindset, work on her self-concept, stop self-abandoning, stop self-betraying, and start doing the work that will lift her out of that and into a more potent, audacious frequency that has her going for bigger things. The third thing I think contributes to a broke-ass mindset, or a broke woman mindset, I should say, I kind of like broke-ass mindset better, is that she believes her excuses. So this kind of goes back to the victim mentality piece. But when someone is operating in their excuses, it becomes this like soundtrack for what they believe to be true about them or what they believe is possible for them. So they say things like, I don't have time to do that. Oh, it's just not the right time for me. Oh, it's just not the right season for me. Oh, I don't have the money for that right now. Oh, I can't do that because she's doing that. I can't do that. My husband needs this from me. I can't do this because my kids need this from me. It's like all of those things are excuses, and all of those things are within your control if you're willing to do the work to peel back the layers of resistance, fear, and self-doubt, heal a lot of that, release a lot of it, and go into your next level of power. You do not step into a wealthy mindset if you are still swimming in excuses around why you can't do something, why you can't be something, or why you can't have something. It is the exact freaking opposite of a wealthy mindset. A wealthy mindset is one of possibilities. A wealthy mindset is one of courage. It is one of audacity. It is one of opportunities. It is you riding the frequency of possibilities, opportunities, and magic. That is the exact opposite of a broken or a broke-ass mindset with someone who just swims in their excuses and uses that as a reason to stay safe. And what they don't realize is when they do this to themselves, every excuse that they operate under or every excuse they allow themselves to believe starts to expand or build on their story that they have or their self-concept that they operate under. And so they start to buy into their own excuses. So when they say things like, I don't have the time, what they're really saying is that they don't trust themselves to prioritize better. Or when they say, it's not the right time, what they're saying is that they don't trust themselves to thrive in less than perfect conditions. Someone who operates under the excuse of I don't have time, or it's not the right time, or I don't have enough money, or I can't get the money, they do not trust themselves. That is they are showing you in that moment that they do not trust themselves enough to be scrappy, resourceful, and figure it out. And so it feels safer to them to operate under a belief of I can't do this because of, insert life circumstance or time restrictions or money restrictions. All that is doing is reinforcing a story that you can't do something because you don't trust yourself enough to navigate the discomfort that comes with proving yourself wrong, or the discomfort that comes with going for the next level of yourself. You will not anchor into a wealthy mindset if you do not trust yourself to navigate a new level of discomfort. And the longer you buy into those stories, or the longer she buys into those stories, the longer she reinforces the identity of someone who isn't willing to do what it takes to become who they say they want to become, or isn't willing to do what it takes to create or do or have or be what they want. The fourth one is she doesn't prioritize health or vibrancy or being hot. Now, I know that will probably ruffle a few feathers, but here's the reality. Energy is the true currency of business. Okay? I don't care what anyone says. It's not time. It's not skills. It's not even money. It's energy. And broke women, or women who are struggling with money, or people who operate with broke-ass mindsets, they leak their energy everywhere. They burn it on stupid fucking drama in the comment section of a post. They waste it on overthinking or second-guessing themselves. They drain their energy with habits or dynamics or patterns that leave them feeling foggy or sluggish or heavy or in their head about something or insecure, instead of doing what it takes to treat their body as their highest power source. And instead of doing that, they treat it as like an afterthought. Like, oh, it doesn't matter if I work out today. Oh, I can sit inside and do nothing all day. Oh, I can just watch fucking Netflix all day and not do anything, not take any action, but then complain about why I'm not result here, why I'm not here yet, why I'm not making this much money yet. It's because, bro, you're not prioritizing habits that would actually get you there. This sounds so ridiculous to say, prioritize being hot. But if you actually think about that, the people who are the most magnetic online, they might not be the most physically attractive, but they believe they are. And because they believe they are, it pulls us in. We can't look away because they just have a level of confidence and conviction and magnetism that makes them unignorable in this space. So no, you don't have to be young 20s or late 20s and hot and fit and rich and all of that to be successful. You just have to believe that you're vibrant, you're radiant, you're hot, you're successful, and you're smart enough to go for it. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard, a wealthier standard than someone who makes excuses, sits in front of fucking Netflix all day, doesn't actually do anything that moves the needle, and then complains about it. That is a broke woman mindset. The broke woman mindset is you feeling unhappy with a certain level of yourself or your business or your money or whatever it is, your relationships, your friendships, whatever, and not doing anything about it. That is also a hallmark of someone who is operating in a broke ass mindset. They acknowledge that something isn't the way they want it to be, yet they don't do anything about it. They acknowledge that they aren't where they want to be, but they aren't willing to change it. They acknowledge that they feel lazy or sluggish or fat or, uglier than they want to, but they don't do anything to fix it. There's so many things that you could do to start building up your confidence. But when you were stuck in a broke ass mentality, it's almost like it's easier for you to not do it because the emotional payoff is I won't fail. If I don't do anything, if I don't change anything, I can't fail because I'll never actually go for it. That is the payoff of someone who won't do shit to change anything about their circumstances. But here's the thing they forget. They forget that they are the engine of their business. Their vibrancy, their frequency, their energy, it fuels their business. It is the thing that draws the people in. It is what makes them attractive to money and sales and momentum and growth and success. And when they abdicate their power around that, when they make excuses around that, when they stop prioritizing those things, they don't just sabotage their confidence, they sabotage their capacity. And then the final piece of the broke woman mindset is she isn't comfortable with money. So she jokes about how bad she is with money or how hard money is for her. Like it's cute, like it's something to make light of. This is like, I hate the girl math trend. I feel like it feels so powerless for women. It's like, I'm bad with money, so like, let's do it this way. It's just, it drives me nuts because it is just further cementing this whole ingrained belief that women are bad with money when it actually couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of women are fantastic with money, but when you operate in the disempowered belief around money that you are not good with it, or you don't know how to save it, or you don't know how to manage money, or anything like that, that contributes to a broke ass mindset, all you're really doing is turning money into something to feel bad about, or something you feel shame around, or something that you feel like you have to tiptoe around or make excuses around, or something that you feel scared about, you feel dysregulated around. When you make money emotional instead of neutral, you hand over your power to money. And what I mean by this is if money comes in, you're euphoric, everything's good. But if money slows down, you collapse. It becomes emotional. You assign meaning to it. You make judgments about yourself. You assign disempowered beliefs around it. You ride this like emotional roller coaster around your bank balance or your monthly sales or your invoice totals instead of running your business like a leader who sees money as a neutral tool that she can use to make more of it. There's a difference in frequency there. Someone who makes light of money, of like, I'm not good with money, I'm a bad saver, I love spending money, I love girl math, that is doing you such a fucking disservice. That is the broke woman mentality. The broke woman mentality is making light of your bad money habits. The broke woman mentality is not learning about money and financial literacy and learning how to manage it. If you do not know how to manage money, money will manage you. If you feel at the mercy of money, you will forever be at the mercy of money until you fix that for yourself. There's no shame around money. It is the meaning that you are assigning to it. And the women who have regulated beliefs and a regulated nervous system around money, they know that money is neutral. I guarantee you the highest version of you, the one that you say you're working towards, the you that you can't stop thinking about, the $1 million version of you, the one who is Oprah rich and killing it and happy and vibrant and gets everything she wants in her life, I guarantee you she is neutral around money. I guarantee you she does not worry about what's coming in and what's going out. She trusts herself to know her numbers, manage money, and manage her finances in a way that is regulated and calm and neutral. Because when you make money emotional instead of neutral, you hand over your power to it. And so if money comes in, you're euphoric, everything's good, you're spending money. But if sales go down, or if sales are slower, or if a launch doesn't go the way you wanted to, or if you just make less money in a year than you thought you were going to, it's like all of a sudden you collapse emotionally. It's like you start white knuckling money. You start, aggressively checking the amount of money you have or making plans for what happens when it runs out. And I so get this. This has been one of my biggest edges to navigate for myself. I had to do a lot of this work around myself. I would white knuckle money. I would frantically check my bank balance and put plans in place around what would happen if we ever ran out. You know what I mean? I concretely remember at 2017, I remember obsessively checking my bank account and putting plans in place for what would happen if we ever ran out of money. It was torture. It was emotional torture. If you find yourself in that place, please know that you have emotional attachment to money and you currently do not trust yourself with it or feel comfortable around money, which is why it feels like such a roller coaster for you. It feels so up and down for you. It feels so fear-based to you because you don't currently trust yourself with it. And that is yet another hallmark of the broke woman mindset. But here's the thing that you're not realizing when you find yourself in this loop is that money stress is usually not actually about the money. It's about what you're making it mean about you and your skills and your ability and the possibilities and opportunities that are available to you. So often when women chastise themselves or make fun of themselves around money, it's because they have a lot of shame around it and they're making it mean something negative about them. And so by saying that out loud or reinforcing that in their mind and they swirling these thoughts, it's creating this identity of I am bad with money. And she minimizes her power around it instead of doing the work to regulate her nervous system, expand her capacity to have and hold more, and remove the emotions around money. Money isn't emotional until you make it emotional. It's you who gives it that meaning. Money is neutral. And the second that really clicks for you is the second a whole new world of financial abundance and regulation and overflow starts to flow into your world. So, and I have a sixth one. Wait, everyone. I have one more that I want to go through. I forgot about this one. This is the final piece that I think really contributes to a broke woman mindset is she waters herself down in service of keeping the peace. So broke women typically shrink themselves for other people's comfort, for their comfort and other people's comfort. So they're typically terrified of being too much, too loud, too ambitious, too confident, too self-centered, too self-absorbed, too self-anything here. Anything that is typically a label that is put onto women who are audacious and ambitious and confident and convicted, those labels. So the broke woman will typically drop her power and water herself down so that she avoids or escapes judgment. Because the worst thing she could be called is too much of insert thing here. It feels too heartbreaking to her to be labeled that or to be judged for that or to be criticized for that or to be misunderstood for that or to be rejected for that. And so she would rather be palatable instead of powerful. And that has them operating in pick-me energy. It's what has them lowering their standards. It's what has them editing or self-censoring their opinions. It's what has them limiting their own self-expression. It's what has them blending into the noise, which is why they struggle to stand out and make the kind of money they want to make because they're not willing to ruffle feathers. And the people who are willing to ruffle feathers, they are typically the ones who make the most money because people who aren't afraid of other people's judgments are fucking leaders. They are not scared of what other people might project onto them, and they know who they are and what their beliefs are and their opinions are and who they are at their core, and they allow themselves to be all of that. They do not shapeshift or mold themselves or censor themselves or silence themselves in service of making other people comfortable. Absolutely not. Instead, they seek self-approval over external approval. But the broke woman, she prioritizes external validation or other people's approval over her own self-approval. And that's why she stays stuck in a loop of pick-me energy, performative energy, and constantly chasing validation outside of herself, which keeps her exhausted, watered down, and ignorable in this space. And here's what they don't realize is actually happening. When you avoid judgment or when you try to avoid other people's projections or opinions, or when you try to avoid conflict in your business or in your message or in the online space, you also avoid a bigger impact. Because people can't buy from you if they don't feel you. And no one feels a watered down woman who was just trying to be liked. That's a broke ass mindset. That's a broke woman mindset. I really need to pick one or the other. We're just going with both. Fuck it. I like both. No one wants to buy from someone who is out of her power. No one wants to buy from the chick who is trying to be liked. And every time you choose being palatable over powerful, every time you choose their opinion, their projections, their judgments over you, over self-approval, you become ignorable in this space. Because I'm telling you right now, no one wants to buy from the chick who is trying to be liked. And that energy, that frequency of trying to be liked, trying to be chosen, trying to prove that you're worth it, is the thing that keeps you broke. It is the thing that keeps you in the frequency of struggle, in the frequency of lackluster results, in the frequency of small money. Fear, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, limitations, all of that, you trying to water yourself down, that is the frequency of small moves and small money. And so if you're struggling with that, I imagine what's really going on under the surface is you probably don't feel like you can handle someone else's judgment, or you probably don't feel like you have the courage to lead yourself through other people's projections, or angry people on the internet, or you fear rejection more than you desire the results that you say you want. And that has you sacrificing magnetism for being nice. But high caliber women, they're not worried about being too much. They're worried about betraying themselves by playing too small. Because they know it's the brave ones that get paid. It's the magnetic ones that you can't take your eyes off of. It's the ones who are highly paid, who operate in their full power, their full conviction, and lead themselves powerfully no matter what's going on. And when you can crack into that mentality, all those old, unprocessed, broke mentality hiccups or challenges that you used to swirl in will start to gradually fade away as you start to deepen your power, build your confidence and your comfort level around money, increase your capacity to hold more, be more, and do more. And that's when things really start to crack open. That's when you start to operate in a wealthy mentality, when you can't imagine not being that, when the thought of you dropping your power or not going for it feels more threatening or scarier to you than having the guts to truly go for it, because it's those women that we can't stop watching or buying from. And it's those women who always find a way to win.